Alright, so here we go. We got the Zeta 80. The big Zeta 80, baby. Right here on the old junk bicycle. Why did I choose a junk bicycle? Because that's the only one I had that this motor would fit in, actually. But it's also perfect because I want this thing to be as ugly as possible to make it less prone to theft. You know, I gotta make the motor ugly. The frame's ugly. Everything else is ugly. I made me a homemade rear fender with zip ties. Zip ties. I put a split here, see? I can put that cable, the rear brake cable. That's just an old yard sign, you know. You know what I'm talking about. Plastic. And that keeps water from going up into your carburetor. Of course, right now I zip tied, again, the air filter on there. So I can cut those off and replace those all day long. But this is on this speed here. There's a 48 tooth sprocket in the back, which gets me around 25 miles an hour ish. It the RPMs that the top speed RPMs that I want, probably 25 to 27 at the most miles an hour. I'm guessing, of course. On the brake, then this is 80, 66 cc's. They call it the 80. See, I ain't turn the gas off. You don't have to turn the gas off. You're just sitting here for a few minutes. And there's air bubbles. Those ain't moving. It ain't pulling gas in that carb, so the float needle is working properly. But it's okay. Anyways, even if gas gets in the bypasses the carburetor in these and goes down into the case, it's got oil in it anyways, and that's how you lubricate your engine. So it's unlike a 4-stroke or a 2-stroke that's got oil in the cases, where you don't want to mix the gas in there. It'll thin it out. But this is absolutely fine because it's the same gas with the same oil that it needs anyways. But here we go. So I got this lever here for the front brakes. That's my front brake lever, see, which is on the right. And then I have it set up right here where I have my clutch, and then my rear brake lever is underneath it, see. So how I operate that is I pull my clutch in with all my fingers, you know, but quickly I can reach underneath there with these 2 fingers and use the 2 fingers to control the back brake. So my clutch is in, which means my motor's not trying to pull the bike, right? So the clutch is in, the motor's not, has no effect on the speed or trajectory of your bicycle. And then you got control of your back brakes down here, and then my front brake. So now I've got both brakes, and I don't have a rear foot brake like the other type bikes, the single speed cruisers and things, old-fashioned ones. So that's how I got around that, simply by putting this down. And I could adjust this up or down, but that's how I did it. And originally I had this brake lever on the other side of the clutch, which would make it where I'm only grabbing the tip, which is fine. You could switch it back and forth. I was just experimenting, and I just went ahead and used this one, even though it's probably not the best way. Probably the best way would be put your clutch here and your brake here. So your leverage is on the end of your brake lever instead of up here where it's harder to pull. So anyways, that was probably the only mistake, but it still works fine. Good enough, But this is a Zeta 80. So this thing, I'm not going to say where to get them from, but I got this, I think it's called bikeengines.com. So I bought this. It was under $200 with shipping. Can't remember the exact price, but it's a Zeta 80. They do have some a little bit cheaper, but anyways, this is the one I got, and it's a good motor, tried and true. It does have the 4-bolt chain tensioner. I ordered it with a 48 tooth gear rear sprocket because this is the mountains. So if you're on the mountains, especially Or if you want to go into woods like this and it has some, inclines and you want to go slow, you don't want to fly through here. There's trees in the way, rocks and stuff. So 48 tooth is good. It gets you around 25 to 27 miles an hour is going to be my guess. I don't have a speedometer, but my guess is that's how fast I'm going. I got this cool $1 seat from the pallet store because it was missing some stuff on the back. I don't even know what brand it is. Something. But anyways, it's very comfortable. It's got springs underneath it. See? I don't know if that's rubber or real springs. But it was a buck because it was missing all this hardware. So I already had the hardware in my old seat, so I said, whatever. Who cares? But anyways, this is not the perfect setup. To be quite honest with you, I'd probably rather have a 24-inch frame, because I'm not really pedaling this that much. So if it's just a bicycle by itself, the 26-inch fits my frame better. But because I'm not really pedaling, I'm just riding, the 24 is just easier to get on and off, and more, it's just more convenient, basically. Even though I'll be a little tall and lanky for that. But then you have to get a bigger sprocket in the back. So if you're going to get a 24-inch bike, the minimum you want to use would be a 48 tooth sprocket. Like a 44 tooth sprocket would probably be, you probably couldn't use a 36 tooth sprocket on a 24-inch bike unless you'd like to pedal quite a bit, give it pedal assist. Otherwise, you're going to bog down your engine when you take off. So it'd be all right on the highway. You're actually going to gain. I'm not even sure how that works, but anyways, the higher the rear sprocket, the better for the woods and hills and mountains. That's my advice. You can change that out, by just changing out your rear wheel. So you just if you have a quick release rear wheel, you can just pop that rear wheel off and put you another one with a different sprocket on there, so you don't have to change it, because it's kind of a headache. I can't imagine doing that a lot, so that'll probably stay on this bike from now on. But anyways, I'm quite happy with it. Or you can get a few of these motors, have one with a 48 tooth or 50 or 60 tooth sprocket. You can probably walk through the woods with a 60 tooth sprocket, and then get you another bike, because you can get these things cheap. You don't really care about the bike. You're not pedaling it. It doesn't matter how heavy it is or really how good it is. You can get you a couple. And again, the motors are under $200. So go out and try to find you oh, look here, another tick. So that's tick number 2 on the same foot. So we're going to kill him, because ticks are nasty critters or creatures, whatever you want to call it. So let's walk over to the rock. By the way, this is a rock quarry. They used to blast all this stuff with dynamite. I have literally found dynamite in a drilled hole, which I can't show you right now because I don't want to climb up in there. But they have holes drilled in here that they put dynamite in, and they blasted with them back in the day. And I found a stick of dynamite, an old, I don't know how they could have forgot it, but they did. It didn't have paper on it anymore. It was just a black powder that they use for dynamite. Let's find this tick. Okay, there he is. We gotta kill that tick. So some of these ticks can give you Rocky Mountain spotted fever. How do I know that? Because I had it. I'm one of the few people that's had Rocky Mountain spotted fever. Now, the thing about Rocky Mountain spotted fever, it's starting to rain, so it's time for me to go. You don't want Rocky Mountain spotted fever, I can tell you that. Alright, I'm fixing to get in a bad storm, so anyways, till next time, this bad boy is my bike, so I'm going to try to record it just a little bit while I get out of here. Let's see, there's my freaking gas straddle. Let's try it here. We'll just try it. I'm fixing to get wet. I really didn't want my phone to get wet, but it is what it is. It be what it be. So let's try to ride it this way, if I can, and get that motor started. Get my motor running. Head out on the highway. See, I'm pedaling right now. All kinds of good stuff. And there's a step. Can I get it? Oh, yeah, I did. Okay. Yeah! That was both brakes, too. Okay. Here we go. You can see it. If my shirt's not covering the camera. And that was it, man. Yeehaw! Like I said, I'm probably 25 is probably the top speed on this bad boy. Yeah, maybe a little faster, but not much. If I'm going 30, I'm surprised. I might be going 30. But see, that's a lot of RPM that I'm not really wanting. Alright, now I'm going to put my clutch in, both brakes. Yeah, buddy.